you're reaching out now. So you're basically saying if it was just, let's say, forget 50-50. Let's just say if it was 60-40, this would give you more, the more that you want. Just that one thing.
Yeah, because I think so. It would change a lot of the dynamic. And if he's reaching out, that means I'm spending more time with him because maybe he's not only inviting me to dinner. I mean, he invites me over some, we have family functions and I do get an invite, everything. But if he's reaching out even 40% of the time, that means I'm spending 40% more time with him.
So everybody's going to ask the question is, have you guys had this conversation before about the reaching out?
No, this is really the first time I'm kind of voicing it. I've been feeling it, but this is the first time I'm actually voicing it and kind of working through it here on your podcast. Just
how do you think that would go? So let's just play this game. Let's continue to play the game of getting John what he wants. How do you think that would go? If and when you do have that conversation, do you think it will be something that it will be done, or do you think it's going to be a little argument, or is it something where you don't think it's going to happen at all?
I don't think it would be an argument. I think, I'm not sure. I think I have some reservations about opening up like that. Like I have all these feelings and all these emotions, but I have some reservations because I'm not sure how it's going to go.
What if he says no?
Exactly. Yeah. He may I think that's some of the reservation. Maybe he'll be like, well, you got what you get. This is me, this, take it or leave it.
Would you be able to handle that? Would you be able to handle a no?
I think initially it would be difficult. I think, initially, because I have this want to spend more time with my father, a no would initially, I want to say devastating, but it wouldn't crush me, but it would be a shock to the system. Because when you have I got an expectation, I want something and I don't get it. Initially, that can be a little disheartening, So.
And what if he says yes? Well, let me give some substance to that. What if he says yes and then doesn't follow through?
Then I'd be disappointed. And we'd be back to square one. We'd be back to, okay, this is who he is. This is his character, and this is who he's been, and I'm not going to change that. The whole thing with this is sometimes I struggle with the reality that I'm this man and I'm still craving these things, and I'm wondering, why not get over it already? Why not, as men, we're supposed to be, tough, hard exterior, hard interior, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You just kind of go through life and you trudge through life. And, I'm not unique, but I think I'm unique in that just for myself, that I admit to these feelings and I admit to what I'm going through, and because I can't hold that stuff in. I'm the kind of guy that if I'm going through something, I got to tell you, man. I'm going to tell you. I'm like, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling, and these are the things that I'm going through. And sometimes I feel ashamed of admitting these things or talking about these things, because there's that part of me that feels like I should get over it already. And that's just the society, like societal ideals. Like just get over that already. Move on with yourself.
I want to ask one more question, and then I want you to open up something else that you want to voice in regards to your relationship with your father. Yeah. If you're doing 99% of the reaching out, Okay. If you were to stop reaching out right now, however you reach out, if you were to stop doing it today, how many days, weeks, months, or years do you think would go by until he will reach out to you?
Well, there have been several weeks that have gone by where I haven't, like I haven't reached out. I haven't even, asked him how he was doing or anything. I just kind of, we're just going about life, and I'm aware of it. And there have been, 2-3 weeks that have gone by. I don't think months would go by, maybe a month and a half, 6 weeks or so. That's very, very possible. I don't think several months would go by or even years or anything like that. We live pretty close by. But certainly several weeks have already gone by in certain periods of time where I haven't heard anything from him. And then I'll text him, see how he's doing. Ask him if he wants to get dinner. There's been times where he's like, yeah, let's get it. Or, I'm busy, or I'm doing this, or I got the pool, just different stuff going on.
Is he a texter?
Yeah. That's how we communicate a lot, through text.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even through text, it could go a couple weeks, even through text.
Yeah, I'll text him and I won't hear back from him for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. That's good to know. All right. So now, like, what else do we need to know when it's coming to this relationship here? Because I could talk about this reaching out all day, to be honest. But what else do we have?
Well, I think that's mainly it. Like you can't make up for lost time, right? You lose time, you lose some things, and then you got to kind of start where you're at and go on from it. And maybe that's what we did. Maybe we started where we were at, and this is what our relationship has become. Maybe it's not going to be any more than that. I can certainly voice some of these things to him and have a talk with him and see kind of where it goes from there, because it could very well turn around. We could actually maybe even get closer to one another. But I may still be longing for stuff that is long gone. Because I had those feelings like a child. These longings aren't adult longings. These are longings of a child. Wanting my dad to pat me on the back, wanting to get a hug, wanting to spend time with him, wanting him to look my way. It's figuratively speaking.
See, I'm thinking of it for myself because I don't know if you're doing the right thing, like what you just said, or maybe you're trying to get something that you can't get. I have the same battle.
Yeah.
But I would love to feel like have that fight in me. I would love, but because I've had that conversation. Like, yeah, we need to, it would be great if you reach out to, this is not just on me, let's work it out. And it went for like a couple weeks or whatever, but then it just kind of faded out. And then it's like, oh, you didn't call me on my birthday. And then it's, oh, you didn't call me on Father's Day or whatever. And I know that I'm not the only person. So basically, we are the two sides of the coin. I'm the side of the coin that's like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I love him. I understand what he's going through. Maybe it's too late. And then you're on the other side, like, you still have that desire and that need.
Yeah.
So there's many of both of us in this situation.
Definitely.
So what do you think? Do you think that you're doing the impossible, or do you think that you could really get what you want?
I don't think it's impossible, but it does depend on both of us. It just doesn't depend on me. It takes two of us to make this thing work. Now, I can go a little further, as you just mentioned. Like, I can voice what I'm feeling. I could sit down and have another conversation with him and go deeper. and then see what the outcome is. Hey, maybe he's scared too. I don't know. Maybe he has some things going on that he can't talk about, or he's reluctant to talk about. So maybe if I initiate it, I mean, who knows? I don't know what will come of it, but maybe he has some things that he hasn't said yet that he wants to say as well.
But at what point would you see? I'm asking this selfish question because I'm the other side of the coin. But at what point do you think you'll be like, okay, I'm doing way too much? Or is that just in your DNA that you're just going to do this until the end of time?
I think until we have a more in-depth conversation, me and my father, with me, like what I'm talking to you about and what I'm talking to your audience about. When I sit down and talk to him about it and I see what he has to say and what his reaction is, depending on the outcome of that, I think that will be the point where it's like, okay, he's been wanting something too, and here we are, we're meeting in this place, we're meeting halfway, or he's fine with where it's at and this is where it's going to be. And then I can say, okay, this is where it's at. That doesn't mean the feeling's going to go away, but I can take that and accept that and say, okay, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to be the one kind of reaching out like, hey, you want to get dinner, you want to get together, you want to chat or whatever. And then that's what I'll have to live with and be thankful that for the last 20 years, I've known my father. So for the first 24, I didn't. For the last 20 years, I've known my father. We've been in each other's lives. Maybe it hasn't been to the degree that I wanted to be. And some of that is my fault. Like I said, during the first 5 years, I was, heavy into addiction. I had met him and then all of a sudden I wasn't about forming a relationship. I was about getting a fix, day in and day out. So some of that's on me as well. But over the last 15 years, I've been, and not even that, even when I was married, I didn't go around that much. I had become sort of reclusive. So, some of this could actually, now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, some of this could be my fault. I wasn't going around a lot of family functions. I was getting invited to stuff. And my wife at the time, Anna, she would go and take my kids.
Parenting ever ends?
What's that?
Does parenting ever end?
I think it changes. I don't know that it ends, but it certainly changes. It goes from, I think, teaching and guiding to maybe later on in life as you're both adults to having conversations of equal value and then maybe some advice.
See, because I'm asking that because you just was talking about, well, maybe it is my fault. Maybe it is. And I can't see, that's my 1% of the coin. You're 99% active. I'm like 1% trying to reach out. Because I believe, my mind is psychologically wired to say that it's like there's nothing, a parent can never stop being a parent, in my opinion. And if you were going through those things, that's not a reason to not shift in a different gear, as you just said, to do a different style of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what age it is.
Yeah. I got what you're saying, yeah.
So I'm just trying to see what side of the coin do you feel is the right path? Because again, everybody that's listening right now, they're one of the two. If they don't have their father, they're one of either your style or my style. Which style, like, am I crazy? Are we crazy on my side of the coin?
I don't think so. Because with my other parent, I'm on your side. I'm kind of on your side of the coin. So these are my relationship with both my parents are completely opposite